Hello, everybody. Welcome to On the Homefront. My name is John Murphy. Very happy to be sharing some time with you once again here at WILI. We're here live on 5 p.m. every Wednesday. You might be catching us on YouTube or WICH or also WECS, Public Access Channel 192 in Spectrum. We're happy to have a connection to you so that our guests, it's really about our guests connecting to you throughout the year with their programs and information, things about our community. We got a show today that's going to end a little early for the Red Sox. I wish them well. We're going to end at 45, but we have plenty of time. For the second half of the show, I'm very happy to have a wonderful artist back in the studio. June Bisantz has been in our community for many decades, teaching at Eastern. She's also a phenomenal performer. She has a concert coming up on May 31st at the River Room, a few feet away from our studios here in downtown Willimantic. She'll be here on the 31st, and she'll be here today to preview the show and talk about some of her music. But first, I'm very happy to talk about the garden and dirt and composting. We have two people here that are working very hard to encourage composting, not only to help the environment, but to save taxpayer dollars and improve the quality of life. So sitting next to me is Ginny Walton. I've had her on the show many times over the years. She's the recycling coordinator in the town of Mansfield. So it's good to have you back in the studio, Ginny.
Yeah, nice to be here.
I had her here recently about the repair cafes that we have throughout the year. Also with me today is Dawn Niles from the town of Windham. She's the chair of the town council, as well as the Sustainable and as the Energy Committee. And thank you, Dawn, for being here today.
Thank you for asking me.
Now, I know you've been here on some other shows because you've gotten a wonderful grant that's opened the door for a lot of new things.
Yes.
And you're here to share the good news and how people should think more than ever about how your individual composting every day can make a huge difference. And
so you want me to start with the grant or how this all started? I mean, we basically have been looking at composting and how to do it for almost 6 years now.
That's right.
Trying to get the town on board and everything else. And we looked at different ways that we could possibly do this. One of them was kind of more costly to residents, and that wasn't going to work. But I actually used their machine and tested it out and did 1 month's worth. I did a little over 100 pounds of food waste that month, which basically brought it down to like maybe 5 Ziploc bags of food waste. That was it.
Yep.
So it was less than 9 pounds by that point. According to our town code enforcement and planner guy, Matt Vertifay.
You bet.
He basically told me and the council that if only 10% of our residents composted and even we bring ours right to the transfer station.
Sure.
And did that. That's about a $40,000 savings in our tipping fees. Yeah. That's only 10%.
Yeah.
So we started thinking about how we could do this. We were going to go out and give everybody these green biodegradable bags and ask them to fill it, bring it to the transfer station. We have a receptacle there.
That's right.
And then we transport it somewhere else. That was the original plan. Then I saw this grant. And I said, why don't we just try for it? We didn't actually expect to get it.
Yeah, folks, this thing is called the digester. And it's a huge stomach.
Yes.
That breaks it all down fast.
So anyway, we got notified by CCOG, which is our Southeast Connecticut Council of Governments.
That's right.
We're going through them. The grant was through Department of Environmental and Energy Protection, DEEP. And they gave us the whole grant for this area. So it's over
421?
Yeah, it's like $421,000. It buys that in-vessel composting machine, which is 40 foot. It actually also gives training to our employees on how to use it. It pays for any site work that we need to have done at the transfer station. We also get a lift truck so we can go and pick it up ourselves and not have to hire anyone to do it. Bring it directly to the transfer station, put it in this machine, and let it keep going. And it gave us money for receptacles that we can place in different areas. We're not really sure where we're going to do that yet. We're starting really small with the school system.
It makes sense. It's manageable. It's kind of controlled in a way. You have so many places.
Yeah. Right. So we're going to do the middle school. All right, it's fifth grade to eighth grade next year. So what we wanted to try to make sure is that we got all of our kinks out before we really spread it on out to the rest of the community. And so we'll be doing our own composting right there at our transfer station. And again, anyone in the community can still bring their composting down and we can take care of it.
I know when I had other people on, including Ginny before, they were talking about the difference between a single house in an area zoned for single houses versus an apartment building with maybe 50 families or whatever, a huge amount of potential collection right there. And that would take some, I guess, work with landlords too to make that.
That would be working with landlords.
Sure.
And we're going to we have to figure all these components out because, to be quite honest, we didn't expect to get the grant.
Yeah.
We were hoping maybe they would give us the receptacles. But we tried for the whole thing. And so this is going to be a pilot program for this area. And it's run through CCOG. So the town of Windham receives the grant. We work with CCOG on getting it all implemented and everything else. So there's all this paperwork that has to be signed right now. So we haven't started yet.
Yeah, well, that's
but we are collecting. So don't forget, we're still collecting.
That's right. And this is the time of year when you're going to have more than ever. Right.
Yeah, I mean, basically, one of the things that we keep hearing on putting my town council hat on is that our budgets are too high. And this particular year, we actually we slashed the budget to smithereens. To be quite honest, we eliminated 9 positions at our town hall.
Wow.
It was really not a fun time.
Sure.
But
that's across the state.
Yeah, it's happening everywhere. And they were hard decisions, but we made them. So now we're looking at other ways we can cut down on things. We can't cut our tipping fees right now because we have to budget for what we spent last year.
Sure.
We pay the bill every month. If there's money left at the end of the year, then that would go into the reserves. But what we're hoping is that once this all gets started, it not only saves us money on the town side, but it's going to save money on the Board of Ed side. Because they also pay for their garbage pickup.
That's right.
And it's separate in their budget, not, but we needed to pick a manageable area to start. And this is what made sense.
Well, that's why it's good to have you now when things are in the early stage. Because the other side of this is individual lives, is that if you alter your lifestyle just a little bit and the way that you look at your trash, you can make a difference when all your neighbors add up, and it's easy to dismiss it. But now it's expensive. It's damaging the environment because the stuff that we have to pay to ship somewhere else. So somebody else is taking our trash, and that's kind of absurd. And that's not sustainable either. So what you're talking about is in the future when some things may become more unpredictable, this is everyday life. This is regular.
Right. And, everybody wants to plant flowers. They want to.
Great food.
All right, all this stuff. So we are going to offer the compost free. We're not charging for it.
Yeah.
Where we were going to bus it would have charged for it. But because of this machine, it will go in we're going to commingle the leaf pile with this and really enrich the compost that we currently use. But it will be free for individuals that live in town to go and use. It will also, we can use it for our parks and things like that across the board.
That's right. Now, I've had Ginny in the program many times over the years, but can you describe the town's approach through Mansfield for how they manage multiple forms of waste and the stream of recycling? And mainly composting to start.
Okay, yeah. So there's a focus on waste prevention. So one of the things we do is sorry, I think I got some pollen and
I think there's a little bit of pollen in the air lately. I've been suffering. I don't know about you.
Yeah. So we have been collecting leftovers from K through 12 for the past 2 years at the schools and taking that to the Covenant Soup Kitchen, Willimantic.
There you go.
We have expanded that offering to restaurants and catered events, and we've had a little bit of traction, but not a whole lot. So
it's on the way, though.
I'm putting the plug out there for any Mansfield catered event or restaurant. that we have volunteers ready to pick up your leftovers, that haven't been served.
That happens all year long, too. Events, they don't always estimate, but they want to have enough. And
Yeah.
they have stuff that often just gets tossed.
Right. So that's preventing wasted food. Then there's the stuff that's not edible, right? And it's food scraps. And we have been composting school food scraps since the mid-1990s, K through 8. And we're hoping that the regional high school will join in on that this coming school year. So we're moving. And our approach has been, of late, is to move to washable items so that there's fewer plastic things that are going in the food scraps. So that's really helped. I mean, the school has used some washable items forever, but this is expanded to cups, portion cups, and drink cups. So it's almost all washable items now at K through 8, and we're hoping to expand that at the high school next year. So that's a little bit about the waste. Then for composting, we've been encouraging backyard composting since forever, and in fact this year we have a pre-order sale. Residents that have ordered their items will be picking them up this Saturday.
I have to give you a testimonial. Years ago, Rita and I bought one of those things in the backyard. It stacks up like an erector set kind of thing. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It works. It's great. We've had it for years, and it's so simple to use. It's perfect.
Yeah. So we have a pre-order sale. Pre-order sale. Residents will be picking them up this Saturday, but there isn't a large portion of residents who compost. So we also applied for the same grant that the Connecticut Department of Energy Environmental Protection offered, and we too. I didn't expect to get the grant, and we got it.
We talked about that before.
Yeah.
It was. It's much less than yours. It was $129,000, and it is to set up an aerated compost system at our transfer station. So right now, our leaf pile that we have, that's where the school compost goes to.
Right.
And also residents can drop off their food scraps and put in the leaf pile. But this will speed up the composting process. And so the grant covers the cost of engineering the area, setting up the aerated system, and for a screen to screen the finished compost.
Sure.
So what we hope that will allow us to do is to start picking up compost curbside. We already have a contract signed with Blue Earth, which is a compost collection company.
Blue Earth, I've heard the name.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
They operate in West Hartford, and and we had signed a grant with why do I keep saying grant? Contract, because at the time we thought High Tone Farm in Coventry, who they have a
service?
anaerobic digester. We thought they would be accepting food scraps, and by the time we signed the contract, we learned that no, they're not accepting food scraps.
Right.
So we're like, okay, we have this contract, but no place to take it to unless we take it to Southington, which is
This is where we were going to
That's expensive, too.
it's expensive.
cost for any town.
It's the haul that is a huge expense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's expensive to go curb to pick up maybe 5 pounds of food scraps from each household, but you add the travel time then, and you just come to a very costly expense. So this will cut down on the cost of the compost collection, because Mansfield is a pay-as-you-throw service,
That's right.
which means residents subscribe to the service and they pay based on the volume of trash that they have. They have 6 different service sizes they can select. So the smaller the can, the less they pay.
Yep.
And with composting incorporated into that cost, it'll even shrink their container size
right.
even more.
That's right.
You go
Okay.
down from I went down from almost 2 full bags of garbage a week to a half a bag.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's
You know,
significant.
It's really significant.
Yeah.
So we're doing this now as spring is here. We're getting ready for summer. We're going to have these folks back occasionally during the year. But if you want to learn more, go to each of the town's websites and find out how to connect to them. If you can compost, find out where it can go. It'd be great to have a system set up later for people. That's kind of a curbside thing. But I guess the number one thing is we have to find ways to encourage people to want to do this.
Right.
You can have it all done, but people still have to have that extra step.
We're going to start community discussions.
Good.
We're hoping that after we do start it with the school, that the school students will come out also and participate
Kids
in
can
those
lead that way sometimes.
discussions and
Yeah.
so on. That's also part of our whole plan on how to get it out there. We feel, to be quite honest, if we can train the children, we can train the parents,
That's right.
and it's easier that way.
Yeah.
If I could just quickly, I need
Please,
to plug
yeah.
in
Okay.
the fact that CLIC has been helping us with this grant.
Yep.
And Eastern Connecticut State University Institute for Sustainability.
Absolutely.
They have been key to making sure that we're on track in going forward.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had Click on the show many times. They're a wonderful new business incubator for food and many community activities, so they're a fantastic part of this whole community. Thank you for the good work you do throughout the year. We'll look forward to having you back later in the year when things move ahead.
Great.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, look, stay with us now. We're going to move into music with June Bisantz, an incredible vocalist. She's going to be here May 31st. Don't go away. Okay, we're back live here on the Homefront. Very happy to have you with us here on WILI. I just want to mention, if you want to join us in the studio in the future to share your story or to get some information out, the door is always open to you. Just use email to make your connection and we'll make a schedule. It's john@humanartsmedia.com, and we'll be very happy to have you here. I can't tell you how happy I am now to have some time in the studio with June Bisantz. I've had her on the air a handful of times over the years as she's produced some amazing albums. A few of them kind of connecting to the music of Chet Baker and his story and his music, but also Latin rhythms, Latin context, and fusing them with some of the American songbook classics in a very interesting way. And she's going to be here in a few days. May 31st is the gig, just a few feet away from us at the new called the River Room in Willimantic. And maybe you could just talk briefly about your hopes for that night to start us out. It's just a few days away.
First, thank you for
Welcome
having me
back.
on. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
It's always wonderful to be on with you. I'm so excited about this. It's a huge opportunity for me to play here in Willimantic. And since I do jazz, there aren't a lot of venues here, or really any other venues for jazz band, vocal jazz. So, here and there. But this is a legitimate, beautiful listening room. When you're there, because you were there on...
It's hard to describe. People are not used to this, right?
It's like being in New York City.
Yeah.
You sit there, close your eyes a little bit, and you're transported to every major city in America that has jazz rooms. Chris Beaudry has done an amazing job, as I knew he would.
We've talked about it a lot here on the station, but it really is a kind of place you'd have to drive. It's not a bar with music. It's an actual club for 65 people, so it's intimate. He has very nice acoustic treatment.
The sound is perfect.
And it's not overly loud, but the quality is very high.
Yes.
So, and again, there's many things happening now. They just opened a couple of weeks ago. If you want to go to thewillyroom.com, you get the whole schedule.
River Room Willie.
River Room, that's right.
Riverroomwillie.com.
That's right. I have to be better trained, but that's where you go for the whole schedule. So again, let's talk about, you have a quartet situation.
I have a quartet.
Please.
It's probably the basic quartet. We expand when we can. My musical partner, Alex Nakimowski, on piano. He is my co-creator, co-writer. We've been playing music together for more years than I can
I guess
just even
2005,
imagine.
right?
Yes, a
20
long,
years.
long time we've known each other, and I consider him one of my best friends. He's an amazing pianist. I want everyone to hear him. He has the power and the delicacy of a truly great musician. He really is, and the concept, he brings it all. So I'm excited to bring Alex here and introduce you to him and him to you.
I think once we had him on the phone one time.
Yes.
One time he was on the phone because he also tours, but he works in the world of classical music as well.
Yes.
So he kind of works in that space between.
He brings that special ingredient to his jazz and his concept. There's it's very expanding, in my opinion. We
Right.
both studied classical music first, So
Classical first.
That's a connection in between us. He certainly took it much farther than I
Chopin
did.
to Gershwin,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Chopin to Gershwin. Now that's a little tonal range for you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's just marvelous to work with.
Right.
And I'm very excited to have him. And Matt Dwanzik, if I know area musicians are familiar with Matt, I met him as a young bass player, really recently out of Hart, and he has just exploded. He is now one of the young leaders in jazz, and I'm glad I knew him back then because now he still works with me. So that's great. He could be doing a lot of other things, but.
I also want to congratulate June. She was honored this year by the Commission on the Arts, the Office of the Arts, as the 2025 Fellowship Award. So congratulations for
Thank you.
recognizing all these years of devotion.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
I'm just thrilled about it. It feels like it feels like I can rest easy now. The Office on the Arts has recognized me.
Yeah.
And a really, really great honor.
Yeah. Now, the other aspect that's, it's kind of connected me and June for many years is that she is a professor emeritus of art and design at Eastern. So she was there for many, many years in that community. And then this musical thing kind of grew along with it.
Yes.
It's a nice way to combine those two worlds together, isn't it?
It is. Well, they've always been intertwined for me. And it's been somewhat of a struggle over the years to successfully intertwine them because they really are two separate worlds.
Yeah.
The visual art world and the music world are quite separate as professions. You pursue each one differently. And in trying to do both, I hope I didn't completely drive myself crazy, but eventually, finally, I feel that blend happened. And now I'm really living the dream, doing both.
Well, I commend you for that because when you make it work, something happens that otherwise might not.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's
the
exactly
gift.
right. They
That's the
inform
gift.
each other.
You have to go in the furnace, though, right? You
Oh, man, yes.
have to walk on a broken glass.
A lot of people not understanding you, yeah.
Now, how are you using the internet? Because you're touring around the world, you still tour, you have occasional performances here in the area, but in between, there's a life on the web, and I wonder how you've adapted to that to stay connected.
Well, COVID was such a difficult time for everyone,
It was.
but it became an opportunity for me to work remotely with some musicians in New York, the John Burr Sextet. And I had a concept for a holiday album based on the work of the famous jazz singer Julie Christie. And she had done this album of, I don't know, maybe 24 songs, and they were very interesting. They weren't like any other holiday tunes. I loved them, and I just emailed John Burr and said, what do you think? Hey, how about it?
A little serendipity?
Yes, and because of COVID, obviously they weren't working a lot, and they were interested in doing a recording project. So I set up a sound booth for myself at home and stumbled my way through learning the software, and the band was already expert, but so he and I worked back and forth.
That's really cool that you could do that now. That's
It's
a new
amazing.
option.
He would
That's a
send
new
me
option.
tracks, and
Right.
I'd send him a vocal track. We put it together, and really, it was a revelation to me. I had never done anything like that before, but it opened a new world for me.
Yeah.
And now I'm able to record, as I'm doing right now, with a guitar player in California, using a producer out there, and musicians out there too.
Is he doing tracks right now?
We're doing tracks right now.
Excellent.
We're doing. You'll hear one on that CD I gave you. It's
Yes.
been a long time. And so Gordon and I, he's a guitar player. We work together. He's my oldest musical partner.
Oh,
We worked together in the 70s
that's special.
out in California.
Wow.
And so,
You've gone through a few sets of strings.
yes, we
I could tell
decided
ya.
this was our 50th anniversary project. We decided, let's do something. And of course, as usual with he and I, we didn't quite know what we were doing. We never did. We never do.
Yeah.
But we found a great producer out there, and we started putting it together. And we developed this kind of blend of jazz and bistro jazz and underlay of a little bit of Texas swing. So it's a lot
Texas
of fun.
swing,
It's very
that's nice.
Americana. It's really very fun. And so we're doing another
Another release.
project, yeah.
maybe by the end of the year we'll have you back to talk about
I hope so.
end of
I
the
hope
year?
if we can get the timing right. It's really difficult with cross country.
Yeah, it is.
People's schedules and travel and this and that.
Right now, travel's whack.
Yeah, exactly.
It truly is. Just avoid Newark, you'll be okay.
Can you avoid Newark?
No, impossible.
Right.
Stay away from United.
Oh yes.
But the actual website is June Bisantz, that's Bisantz, JuneBisantzmusic.com. Can you quickly walk us through what's there for people to learn?
It's actually junebisantz.com
Right.
/music.
Oh, okay.
But
A
you
typo?
can. That's an older.
Oh, that's an older
It's just
email.
junebisantz.com.
Old email. See?
Yeah.
Old emails.
I
don't
know.
die.
See, they come back to haunt
Okay,
you.
junebisantz.com.
That's it.
There you
And
go.
you'll see the option for art or for music right
Okay.
on the homepage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how you can learn all about everything I've done, for better or for worse, ladies and gentlemen. It's there on the internet forever.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We have plenty of time left before the game takes over. So we're going to hear one tune and come back. And this is a nice one because I've heard her perform it. It's a really fun story of one of my musical heroes is Antonio Carlos Jobim from Brazil, one of my icons. And he has a famous tune that she and Alex
Yes.
did a nice
We're going
spin.
to blame this on Alex.
Okay. Well, then
'Cause
blame it on me.
Because his craft in being able to write a tune with 11
Yeah.
notes
That's right.
is pretty great.
So it's a tune that was called One Note Samba that became an international classic. But they did something very special. So I'm going to let you share that, and then we'll hear it.
Yes, so 11 Note Samba
Yep.
is and Alex's son's favorite tune, by the way.
Okay.
Just saying.
Thumbs up.
So am I saying anything? You're playing it, right?
I'll play it
Yes.
whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
Play it.
Listen to my samba with 11 notes, only 11 notes to play. Music isn't purely mathematical, but it's pragmatical to say I know that beauty lies in numbers and their symmetry. There is a certainty of truth. 11 is a perfect number adding up to what I know is true. Separately or close together, one of me, one of you, one and one makes two. Listen to my samba with 11 notes, only 11 notes to say. Nothing in this world is problematical if you're fanatical about the numbers. I don't even able fundamentally bring practicality and truth. 11 is a lover's number adding up to what I always knew. Separate
Okay, that was a very interesting rendition. That is 11-note samba, a little variation you might pick up on one-note samba from Jobim. So we're going to hear one more tune in a few minutes from June. But I wanted to ask you one thing, too. For what's called the American Songbook is music that emerged sometimes from film or theater.
Often from theater, yeah.
And this was 20s, 30s, 40s, even maybe to the 60s. And all these tunes came out of the theater, and then they became classics that were improvised on for decades, infinite variations on these melodies. And the vocal tradition of taking lyrics and how many ways can you bend a note. Mm-hmm. The one thing that one of the reviews that are on your release, a really nice review, talked about how your music has a slow burn. And it's not in your face, it pulls you in quietly. Can you talk about that as a style and how you kind of worked on that and found your way to do that and still have a presence, but it's not always imposing on top?
Well, I invite people. I don't command people. And that's, who I am. And so my singing style reflects that. When I was younger, it probably worked a little bit against me because maybe you didn't notice me as much, but I stick by it because I treat my music the way I would want the music to treat me. I'm gentle with it, but I'm clear with it. And if you accept the invitation, you'll enjoy it. We'll have fun, and that's how I want it to be. It's always how I want it to be. I do want everybody always to come when I'm performing, but yet not if you're reluctant. Only if you like what I do. And it's out there on the internet for that purpose.
That's right.
You can listen to what I do. I hope you like it.
Yeah.
And come see me at the River Room, especially.
JuneBisantz.com is the correct website. So what we're going to do is say goodbye and give you a teaser for what you will most likely hear in a few days on May 31st at 8 p.m. It's a track from her record with Gordon Morell. It's been a long, long time. And maybe, is this ever going to go on the road? Will this ever go on the road as another thing?
Well,
that'd be a very different thing than with Alex.
It would be it is
right?
Very different, different. Gordon's an old hippie.
It's okay.
And so a very different style from maestro to hippie.
Sure.
But I would have fun doing it. Gordon went in a lot of other directions in his life, and is a very successable businessman. So whether he would do this or not, I don't know. But we just have a ball making deciding, making all the decisions and talking and working together and listening to the tracks. We're just having a ball with it. But this particular tune is a tune that I have used to close my sets since I started singing in 1970, whatever it was. As has been my closing tune always. So you'll hear it at the River Room, and here it is on this recording. It's been a long, long time.
June Bisantz, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, John.
Okay, enjoy. See you next week.
Goodbye. No use leading with our chance. This is where the story ends. Never lovers, ever friends. Goodbye. Let our hearts call it a day. But before you walk away, I sincerely want to say, I wish you bluebirds in the spring to give your heart a song to sing, and then I'll kiss, and more than this I wish you love. And in July living to cool you in some leafy glade, I wish you health, and more than wealth I wish you love. My aching heart and I agree that you and I could never be. So with my best, my very best, I set you free. I wish you shelter from the storm, a cozy fire to keep you warm. But most of all, when snowflakes fall, I wish you love. My very best, I set you free. I wish you shelter from the storm, a cozy, cozy fire to keep you warm. But most of all, when snow